There we go. So nobody had to listen to all of that. Nichole, I'm going to make you a host as soon as I scroll down. All right. You should be ready to go, and I'll mute myself and just keep an eye on people that pop in and out.
Sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen, guys, so you'll see my presentation pop up now. So like he said, let me start the slideshow. Okay, so y'all should see my presentation full screen now. So today's August presentation is going to be focusing on back to school schedules, the planning and preparation that is needed for nutrition while we're into the school year. We'll talk about school lunches, because I know for some of you, maybe that means when we're back in school, we are getting lunch from school. We'll talk through that. We'll talk about an example meal plan for maybe if you are packing your lunch. Nutritional timing with that, things and examples on what we can kind of put together to build a day. And then we'll go through some protein options that are easy on the go to keep with you during the day. We'll talk about why I specifically talk about protein here. And then there's room at the end for any questions. Feel free to, I'll usually at some point between each slide ask if there's any questions. Feel free to jump in by taking yourself off of mute or by dropping a comment in the chat. So all of that's open. But if you want to save your questions for the end, that's always an option. I always leave space at the end for more questions. So to get us started, let's talk about back to school. Oops. Schedules change. So when we're in summer or on break and we're not going to school each day, our nutrition may feel a little bit easier. You're at the house during the day. You have options to go get lunch, to have it at the house. Maybe y'all are on the go, vacations, whatnot. Now that we're back in school, you have a little bit more of a rigid schedule where Monday through Friday, the schedule is normally the same. You wake up, we go to school, we come home, we go to practice. So we need to start putting nutrition at the top of the priority list in our everyday schedule. So how to plan. We want to start looking ahead at what are we going to eat all week, our meals, our snacks, and our pre-practice snacks. And if you're packing a lunch or if you are ordering at lunch or at school, you're getting your lunches from school. And we need to look at all of our meals here. Well, almost all of them, maybe not dinner as much because we're home at the end of the day for that. But we need to talk about, or we need to start thinking about and prioritizing what are we waking up and having for breakfast? If you're skipping breakfast, we need to start planning a breakfast. If you're grabbing a Pop-Tart in the morning, maybe it's time to start thinking about a better, more well-rounded, more nutrient-dense breakfast that will help fuel you through the day to help fuel you and get you to the end of the day when practice takes place. So there needs to be a little bit of planning involved when it comes to our nutrition during the school year. Now, after the planning, it takes prep work. It takes some preparation on how we're going to make these plans happen. So let's say you've decided, you've sat down with whoever does the grocery shopping or cooking at your house and been like, I want to start eating something better than a Pop-Tart in the morning. So maybe you guys start getting involved in helping to make the grocery list. Maybe you help go to the store and pick up some things that are going to be more helpful to bring to school with you, some options to have for breakfast, some options to have for pre-practice snacks or meals, so that you guys can start taking a little of initiative on what we're eating and what we're putting in our bodies to help fuel these workouts. Maybe we start packing our lunch this year, Or if we don't pack our lunch, if that's not an option, and you do eat lunch at school, maybe we start looking ahead at the menu each week and finding the options that are healthy. And you know that one day is coming up and it's all fried food. And Coach Nichole has told us that maybe these aren't the best options to have in the middle of the day, that maybe that's the one day of the week I'm going to pack a turkey sandwich tomorrow instead. So just starting to plan ahead and then taking some of those plans into action and execute. So when we're planning and we're prepping, some of my tips for the school year, look at your schedule for the week. That's number one, looking in advance, planning ahead of time. So we no longer look at our nutrition as something that just happens. We just get a lunchbox, we just grab something from the pantry, not thinking of it. It's not on the top of our brain. We want to start making an effort to start looking ahead at the week. What does our week look like? Are there any schedule changes coming up? Do I need to pack my pre-swim snack today because maybe we have an appointment after school? We're not going home before practice, and we need to have something on hand in our bag with us, planned ahead of time. If you are bringing your lunch with you, or maybe this year we want to start bringing our lunches. We've always just done whatever school offers, but this year we want to start maybe planning ahead and packing lunches so that we can pick healthier options in our lunchbox. Maybe we start packing lunches the night before. If it's already packed the night before, then it's just easy grab and go in the morning. It doesn't take any extra effort. It's ready to rock and roll, and you can help do that. For your hydration, if we're not doing so the night before, fill that water bottle. I know the mornings can probably get a little hectic. You may be not waking up with a ton of time on your hands before we leave the house. So taking some of the prep work out of the morning, to take some of the stress and the time off of the morning and doing it the night before, filling your water bottle so that you know you can stay hydrated through the day. And it also helps us to avoid the vending machines. If we can pack our snacks and pick healthier snacks from the store or that you've had at the house, we can avoid the vending machine. Nothing good usually comes from the vending machine. Usually there's not fruit in the vending machine. Usually there's not a Greek yogurt in the vending machine. It's usually chips and candy, baked goods, stuff we want to start kind of being a little bit more mindful of. Same with our drink choices. We want to be hydrating with water, with low sugar sports drinks like the zero sugar Gatorades, Powerades, any of those electrolyte beverages, those sports drinks. We want to start looking at the low sugar or the no added sugar. The sugary ones are going to be okay for meet season or when we're maybe at practice, but there's no reason for us to be taking in all those added fake sugars during the day. So if you can get to school with a full water bottle, it's going to be the best option for you. Planning and prep, if you are planned and you're prepared, there's no reason to go through the drive-through. We want to start limiting those fried and fast food options. You may not feel kind of gross and icky from eating fast food right now at this stage in the game, but long term, as you get older, you will start feeling the effects of fast food and those processed high fat oils that things have been cooked at fast food restaurants. We want to really start avoiding. Also, you may not feel it, but I promise if you're eating the Big Mac or the fried chicken sandwich right before you're going into spring swim practice, you are not performing at your highest level. By putting those things into your body, it's really hindering your performance, how fast you can be, your energy levels, all of those things. So we really want to start avoiding the drive-through as much as possible. If we have to go to the drive-through, Chick-fil-A has plenty of grilled healthy options. We should be really starting to look at avoiding too many fried fast food options, okay? You want to make sure you're packing in the protein. In a couple slides, we're going to go through some really easy protein options that we can start looking at. Protein, I find that is the missed macronutrient that people are missing through their day from y'all's age to older elite athletes. It's usually where we're missing it. So if we can start implementing some really easy grab and go higher protein sources to put into your day, it's only going to benefit you. The protein is what's going to keep you building muscle. It's going to help keep you recovered in recovery quicker from a hard practice. It's going to build that lean muscle mass for you to get stronger, faster, more powerful. So protein's so important. And the sooner we can start implementing a higher protein diet for you, the better. I just got a question about a meat. Is soup good at a meat? Soup is fine. Typically with soups, though, it's brothy. If you're just doing like a vegetable brothy soup, you're usually missing a good decent amount of protein. It's filled with vegetables and a good broth, and that's great, but we want to make sure we're increasing the protein that's usually found within a soup. That's for like the brothy soups. Now, if we go into the creamy soups, we want to kind of avoid, especially around the time of activity. And I say that because creams can be creamy, anything creamy, high dairy, ice cream, Alfredos, creamy soups, melted cheeses. Those things are kind of tricky on our stomachs. And one day we eat it and we feel fine. And the next day you eat it and then you jump in a pool and you feel the bubbles in your tummy. And it might not be the best option to have around a competitive event or around a practice. We should be getting something that is a little bit denser in a complex carb, a lean, healthy protein, some veggies. I don't hate soup. I just think there's a time for it. It might be a good side, but I wouldn't suggest it as your meal and your source of all your calories out of meat. Is that helpful? Okay. Do you have a list of good options to focus on for protein intake for breakfast, lunch, and pre-meat? Yes. So let me go to the next slide. I'm going to come back to this one. Let's skip ahead since protein's on the topic. We're going to go back 2 slides in a second, but let's jump into some easy protein sources for this question. So for protein intake, breakfast, lunch, and pre-meat. So your proteins are going to be things like for breakfast specifically, eggs, egg whites, lean like turkey sausage, turkey bacon, some light cream cheese, some Greek yogurt or low fat yogurt. Those are all going to be your protein sources. Like traditional protein sources for breakfast. There are ways to include and sneak in protein in breakfast items, such as like pancakes. If you guys like pancakes and waffles, the Kodiak brand, I really like. They are whole grain waffles or pancake, if they have a pancake mix, or they have frozen waffles that have added protein in them. So for the box of pancakes, you can find it in the regular breakfast aisle or pancake aisle at the grocery store. I think the serving size is half of a cup to make some pancakes, and I think it has 14 to 16 grams of protein in it. So finding things like that where you can sneak in protein for a breakfast is great. For lunch, your protein options are your lean meats, your chicken, turkey, lean cuts of pork, seafood, lean cuts of beef. Those are all going to be your protein sources. There are those are your beefy, like the big protein sources. There are other protein sources or other sources where you can find some other proteins like beans, chickpeas. So if you like hummus, nuts, seeds, all of those things have protein in them. But your big beefy protein grams are going to come from your lean meats. So this slide shows easy protein sources that will be great and beneficial for you to start maybe adding into your lunchbox or into snacks into your bag for you to take with you during the day. So a protein shake, I don't mind the Quest protein chips. So if you like a bag of Doritos or a bag of chips with your lunch, maybe we start getting the protein chips just so we're sneaking in some extra protein in there. The flavored tuna cups or packet. I don't know if you've seen this, and if any of you guys like tuna, they come like the little snack sizes. They come flavored. They're loaded with protein. It'd be a quick, easy snack. Greek yogurt or some non-fat or low-fat regular yogurt is going to be a great high protein snack. Deli chicken or sliced turkey, great protein. You can put that in a wrap, in a sandwich. You can roll it up in little rolls for a snack with some string cheese. Beef jerky or turkey jerky. There's a couple brands out there that I like. You can find at most grocery stores where they're nice. They're like jerky sticks. I'm not talking about a Slim Jim, but there's some cleaner, leaner cuts of meat as jerky would be a great snack, high protein. Cottage cheese, maybe with some fresh fruit, string cheese or those strings or those cheese sticks. These are all great protein sources that you can be sneaking into your lunchbox to increase your daily protein intake. And I went through, breakfast, lunch, what kind of meat, where you could find protein sources for your big meals. Did that help for the protein question? Okay, I'm going to go back 2 slides so we can keep talking about school lunch planning. So, tips on how to plan ahead for lunches or school when you're at school. How to plan to make sure we're packing some good snacks, keeping some good meals available to you so we can make sure we're getting the right calories, enough calories, and good calories through the day. So again, if you are getting lunch at school, my suggestion is to start looking ahead at the menu. Now, some of y'all may not get the menu, but you have a bunch of options at school. I know some of your schools have salad bar, hot bar, pizza bar. There's all different options now. We want to start looking for, you want to choose a good, healthy protein. We want to choose a good, healthy carb and always include a veggie. Increase your veggie intake. Okay. It's time to start making veggies a priority at y'all's age. Okay. Most of the time, even if you're getting lunch at school, they will have a vegetable option, whether that's the salad bar or cooked hot vegetables. Start trying to include those into your day. We want to skip the greasy and the creamy, going back to that creamy soup and the grease. So if it has been deep fried, or if it is a greasy slice of pizza, we want to start making some cleaner, leaner, greener options when we're looking at our lunch, because what we eat at lunchtime, right there, smack dab in the middle of your day, is prepping your body. It's giving your body the energy. It's putting gas in your tank to get you to practice, because this is your last big meal before you go to practice in the afternoon. So we want to make sure the bulk of these calories are good and resourceful for your body to use them in practice. If you're filling it up with dairy and cream and grease, think of all that clogging up the body. It's not letting you perform at your highest level. We want to give it the good fuel, the good gas, so that you can be strong and energized and not go into practice feeling sluggish and sleepy. Now, those are some tips on when we're navigating the school menu, navigating the school cafeteria. Packing lunch is always the better option, because you can be in control of what is going into your lunchbox. You can be in control of going to the store, helping parents make the grocery list, getting involved in, hey, I want to try this week. How can we make this work? So it's time for y'all to maybe start getting a little bit more involved, speaking up on what you're in the mood for, what's going to look good for you this week at school for lunches, and so that you have those good, healthy snacks and meals going into practice at the end of the day. All right. So if you are going to be packing your lunches, and we want to get away from school lunches, or if you want to just have the option. This is an example of a day to get you into practice. So for some of you, there may be more snack time available at your school. I know everybody's schedule is a little different. Last time I talked to some of the seniors, they're not even allowed a snack time. So we've navigated it a little differently. But so either way, regardless of where snack time falls, where lunch falls, we need to be eating every 3 to 4 hours at least. You could be eating more, but at least every 3 to 4 hours. So the most important thing that I tell people is you've got to be eating breakfast. And whether that means we have to start waking up maybe a little bit earlier, or maybe it's something you make or you pull out the night before so it's ready to go, or we start coming up with some easy options. But breakfast is really important, and we should stop eating the Pop-Tarts. Okay. Or like the mini muffins, unless we're making some really good, healthy mini muffins at home. We want to start avoiding the very highly processed, high sugar, fake sugar, baked good items at breakfast, the high sugar cereals, the Pop-Tarts, the mini muffins, the high sugar yogurts, all of those candy things in the morning. We want to start avoiding and really looking at some good, whole, real foods to get your day started. So these are just some of my easy suggestions. Maybe you're getting an egg sandwich. Maybe you're making a sandwich in the morning, you're toasting some bread, you're heating up some turkey sausage or some turkey bacon, you're scrambling a few eggs with a piece of cheese. You make a sandwich, you grab a banana, you're out the door. Some snacks would maybe be some pretzels, some string cheese, some fruit, some whole wheat crackers, something. I know it needs to be probably easy and on the go, but again, we want to start avoiding the fried chips, the sugary drinks, the sugary baked goods, the cookies, all of the sugars. We really want to start. I know y'all's age group, and some sugar and some cookies and some treats is totally fine every once in a while, but we don't want it to be an everyday thing. We are talking about what y'all need to be putting in your bodies before practice so you can be successful, get stronger, get faster, be more powerful. A lunch example could be turkey sandwich or a turkey wrap on a whole wheat or whole grain wrap, Greek yogurt cup, a That's It bar. I don't know if y'all have seen these That's It bar. You can find them at Target, at Costco. They're a little, I guess I want to say like a granola bar, but it's just fruit based. There's no added nasty preservatives or extra ingredients. Similar to the RX bars. I don't mind the RX bars. They list all the whole natural food ingredients. I don't mind bars, granola bars. We just want to make sure that the healthy bar we think we're eating, the granola bar that we think is healthy, is not a Snickers bar in disguise. Okay. So finding some cleaner, lower added sugar options is always helpful. Then we're starting to look at maybe you get some snacks after lunch before practice. So again, lunch is going to be the last big meal y'all have before you go into practice. And we want to make sure you have plenty of good calories in the body. So it could almost be a mini meal, because if you eat lunch at 11, but we maybe don't have dinner before practice, you need to be having an additional meal sometime between lunch and practice. So maybe that's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with low added sugar jelly on some whole wheat bread. Maybe that's a whole wheat bagel with some like cream cheese or peanut butter, some oatmeal, a banana or apple, peanut butter crackers, cheese crackers. We want to make sure that, again, we're not filling this snack with something sugary like candy, muffins, something that's not coming from a vending machine, something that's not coming through the drive-through, something that's good, whole, and it's going to give you the good calories and energy. Calories are your energy. It is your gas in the tank. If you're feeling tired, we need to eat something. If you're feeling sluggish, we need to eat something. If you have a headache, you probably need to hydrate and eat something. So making sure we're putting good calories in our body is really important. Okay, to the chat. Teresa said, what about Kind bars? I don't mind Kind bars at all. Those are great. Kind bars, go for it. Okay, any questions about the simple meal plan? If we're going to be packing some snacks, packing some meals? Cool. All right, we talked about protein sources. Do y'all have any other questions? You want to talk any more about options to take to school, snacks, planning on lunches, options at school that we want to talk through? If you're like, hey, this is offered, is it a this or that situation? I know y'all got some questions. Nobody's got nothing? We're gonna start making our lunches tonight. Be ready to rock and roll in the morning. Do you have any questions about what kinds of things you should be eating before practice? What kind of things we should be drinking? Um, Anybody make smoothies? Talk about what we put in our smoothies. Things we put in your bag for school. Nothing. Oh, all right. Are y'all drinking beef sticks? Yes, love Chomps. Chomps is one of my go-to brands. They make beef. I think they have a pepperoni stick. I really like their turkey or chicken sticks. Other brands, guys, like Chomps. If you can't find Chomps at the grocery, I know, I think Winn-Dixie and Rouse's both carry Mighty Sparks. It's like a white and a green or teal colored label. There's another one called Vermont, and there's another one called Epic, EPIC. Those are all clean, lean beef jerky, basically. And I am, again, not talking about Slim Jims. But these are great, high protein, easy snacks to keep in your bag. Oh, I just got one. Is chicken noodle soup good at a meat? Um, it's fine at a meat, but it is not enough calories for it to be. Is it homemade chicken noodle soup? Or is this like microwave canned Campbell's chicken noodle soup? Or like the little packet that you mix with water chicken noodle soup? Jeremiah, what are we talking about when we talk about chicken noodle soup? If this is like, go ahead.
Homemade.
Homemade. Full, is it like chock-a-block full of chicken?
Not really.
We need more chicken then. I love chicken noodle soup. I think it's great. And if it's easy on your tummy before a meat, then that's even better. But we want to make sure that there's enough protein, so there's enough calories in there to fill you up for a full meal. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay. Trip and Andrew asked, is yogurt a good snack before swim practice? It is. So going back to the dairy and the creamy things.
Quickly, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth.
No.
There we go. Is yogurt a good snack before swim practice? It can be if it doesn't hurt your stomach. I would suggest adding a carb in with your yogurt. So your yogurts are going to be primarily protein or fat, which is great. I love yogurt. I eat a yogurt every day. But when we're going into practice, if we're going into a workout, if we're going into a meet, that's where we need the most energy, the most calories. And those calories should be coming from a carbohydrate, because your carbohydrate is the fuel for a workout. So we're looking at, so if you had yogurt, maybe you add in a banana or like some granola. So our fruits are great carbohydrates. Granola has oats, which is going to be a great carbohydrate. So I don't mind yogurt at all. I just feel like we need to add a carbohydrate to the yogurt. Does that make sense? Okay, CJ asked, how often do you want us to eat snacks or pre-practice things? You should be having a snack in between every meal, and you should be eating a snack or a meal before practice about 30 to 60 minutes. So an hour to a half an hour before you get in the pool, there should be food in your belly. For some people, 30 minutes is too soon. Our tummy hurts if we eat too soon before we get into the pool, which is totally understandable. So maybe we eat an hour before so your body has time to start digesting, but the calories are still available for you to use in your body as energy before we start swimming. Are ranch and peppers as a snack? Is that a question if that's okay? Again, I don't mind ranch and some bell peppers or some sliced peppers as a snack. I don't think it's enough for a pre-practice snack. I don't think it's going to give you enough fuel before practice. But like to add it into your lunch as a snack or a side to whatever you're having, I think that's fine. Cool. What do you think about eating deli salami? Deli salami is like, are you talking about putting it on like a sandwich? Because I would suggest something a little bit leaner. So the deli salami is going to be a little bit fattier of a protein. I would prefer it to be a leaner protein, like a turkey or a chicken. Yeah, I would. If it's just a little snack, a few slices here and there, that's fine. But as the protein source to your day or to your meal, I would prefer it to be a little bit leaner. It's really high in sodium and it's going to be really high in fat in comparison to turkey or chicken. Peanut butter and banana is a fabulous snack. That's a great snack pre-practice too. Because the peanut butter is a good healthy fat and the banana is going to give you the carbohydrates and the energy that you need. Because a big banana is about 30 grams of carbohydrates and about 120 calories. And then the peanut butter, if you're getting 2 scoops, like 2 tablespoons of serving size, that's like another almost 200 calories. That's a great snack before you jump in the pool to have before practice. Great questions, guys. Now we're talking. Was this helpful going through some snacks and some this and some that's? This versus that options? Were the protein snack options list helpful for how we can start adding some protein into your day? All right. Yes. Good. 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 I'm so glad. Coach Ross, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Okay.
Let's see, Coach Scott's on here now. See if he
Okay.
picked up on anything. Primarily his group of munchkins in front of you.
Okay.
Just, yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll add is just like the ending was just the more questions, the more these meetings are directly beneficial. Because, Nichole will answer any challenges that you have or any questions that you have. So throw more stuff out there.
What's a good snack to bring to swim meets? So to have like in between events and while we're waiting and stuff like that is my go-tos that I've been sharing with some of the older groups. Pretzels, some fruit like banana, apples, grapes, things that like stay well in a bag for the day. Protein shakes, peanut butter crackers, or those cheese sandwich, like peanut butter sandwich crackers, maybe some trail mix, some dried fruit trail mix, with some nuts, some dried fruit, peanut butter sandwich, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, some kind, like a kind bar or the RX bars. Those are going to be great and filling. Yeah. Our Z bars, okay. I would have to look at the label. Is it L or Ellie? I know Cliff makes them, and a lot of times Cliff bars tend to have a lot of sugars. So to snack on those through a normal day, I would have to check the label. They would be fine or okay at a meet, because some of those added sugars I wouldn't mind for you to have if you are competing or if you're jumping in and you need that very quick acting energy. That's where those simple sugars and added sugars could be a little helpful. I'd have to see the label of the Z bar. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I do know Cliff makes it, and Cliff tends to be a little bit higher in the sugar, so I'd have to check. Daniel asked, what juices can you drink? So I don't like any of the concentrated juices because there's a lot of added sugars. If you're drinking all natural juices, it should be okay. You just want to keep it, when you look at the label on a juice or when you look at a label of anything, if it has added sugar compared to total sugars, we want to keep an eye on that number. Because if there are sugars, that is fine if it's a fruit. Fruit has a ton of naturally occurring sugars. If it says that there are 30 grams total sugars, and underneath it says 30 grams added sugar, that means all of the sugar within this label have been added, and then that is a not good choice. That is a bad option. Okay. So juices will all depend on where the added sugar is. We really want to keep an eye on that added sugar line. It is below the total sugar line. What else? Y'all good? All right, well, I appreciate the questions that we just got at the end there. Coach Scott, do you have anything to add for this group before we sign off?
No, I think you about covered it.
Okay, great. All right, guys. Well, I hope this was helpful and beneficial tonight. Yeah, we'll have a next one, I think, probably in 2 months. We usually go, I think, every other month with y'all.
Sounds good.
That's the plan.
All right, good deal. I'll talk with you guys after about setting up that date. But all right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining tonight. I hope this was helpful, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave the meeting now.
I can stop.